This is Normalman, and I'm here to read The Lightning. The Lightning, Chapter 1, Life on Mars. In the year 2937, Earth was no longer a planet in our galaxy. Earth was destroyed due to too much pollution, and the Earth's core became too hot, therefore causing the planet to explode. Scientists were right about global warming. It was something that people should have worried about. During this rough time on Earth, many giant rockets were made by NASA to get the people of Earth onto Earth's brother planet, Mars, for a new way of life. It is now the year 2983, and every human being is told this story in their history class at school at a very young age. My parents told me this story when I was a young boy. I'm Luke Bolt, by the way. I've just finished my first day as a freshman in high school. I am very tall. I have short brown hair, green eyes, and I am often seen wearing an orange shirt with blue jeans. I can't help but think about my origins as a human being, as I am walking out of school from a completed first day as a freshman. Being that this is the beginning of a new phase in my life, I can't help but think about how other people got to this planet, starting a new phase in everyone's life at that time. I've been told that people once used automobiles, but on Mars, we just use jetpacks, since they are easy to use. You don't have to worry about car accidents, or building highways, or any of those things. Just grab your jetpack, put it on, and go to your destination. One flaw that we have on our new planet, however, is that people are constantly being warned about how much more dangerous electricity and lightning is on Mars. On Earth, you would get hurt. Sometimes you would be in more pain than others. On Mars, you get zapped by lightning. You're dead. For me, it is a different result. A rather striking result, really. My everyday life is about to center around electricity and lightning. I become something that has never been done in the history of human beings before. But not quite yet in my life. It had an impact on my life later on this very day. It all started with one of my friends screaming. Chapter 2, Attack of the Bully.
Luke, you have to come with me right now!
I asked. What's the problem, Brandon?
It's Jacob Sansick and John Kiberson,
two important friends of mine from school.
They're getting beat up by that school bully, Mike Stike. Hurry, you must come with me right now.
At this point, Brandon was almost dragging me by the arm to go see the violent scene in action. By the time Brandon and I got there, by running, Mike Stike had beaten up both Jacob and John. They were both lying on the ground unconscious, with many bruises and blood running down to their chins. This giant monster of a kid, known as Mike Stike, turned around and saw that both Brandon and I standing there in shock, as he looked like he was ready to beat up another student. Life on Mars has always been this violent, and the bullies have always been this aggressive.
Well, if it isn't more freshmen ready to once again get a good old kick in the butt from the big Mikey Stacky boy,
he said as he started to get into a fighting stance, getting ready for battle once again. He was a big and muscular kid. He had a black shirt with a giant white skull in the middle of it, and he had black metal wristbands with huge white spikes coming out from everywhere on the little things. Brandon began to yell,
"You've hurt both my friends, and now I will make sure you will suffer for it!"
He started to run toward Mike, about to throw a punch to his face. Mike caught the punch with his left hand and jabbed Brandon in the stomach with his right hand, knocking Brandon unconscious like Jacob and John on the ground. It was up to me now. As I was about to run away from the scene of the crime, Mike yelled at me,
"Okay, man, you're next,"
as he began walking toward me, cracking his knuckles, once again ready to fight. I threw as many punches and kicks as I could at the guy, all in which either did nothing or they were blocked. Like my 3 fallen friends, he knocked me unconscious as well. But before everything started to get dark on me, I saw the principal running toward Mike Stike with several police officers. My friends and I woke up in the school nurse's office with several bandages and some small casts on our knees and elbows. We seemed to be able to get up okay. The nurse then noticed that we were moving around all right and allowed us to leave her office. Chapter 3. The Lightning is Born. I started to walk out of the school again to go get my jetpack on the jetpack parking station to leave, but all of a sudden I heard something from the entrance doors.
Hey, punk! I'm not through with you yet!
It was Mike Stike, ready to fight me again. He came charging towards me with a flying sidekick. He kicked me so hard that my body hit a nearby green power vault to the school's electricity. The machine was shocking and hurting me, but after it did, I felt 1,000,000 times better than I ever did before. I felt a power in my body that I couldn't even explain in words. My hair began to spike up, my eyes became a pure white color, and my muscle mass was incredible. I ran toward Mike Stike with all my might, punched him as hard as I possibly could. He immediately fell over like a pile of bricks on the red sand of Mars, with blood streaming down to his chin. He was in some real pain. My body instantly turned back to normal again. I had no idea I had such short-term, incredible strength and speed. 2 of his friends came out from the entrance doors yelling,
Mike, are you okay? What'd you do to him, kid? Why would you hurt him like this?
My only response to the 2 kids was, he deserved it. At this point, the kids helped Mike get to the school nurse. When I got home, my mother yelled,
Luke, are you okay? The school nurse called me earlier saying that you got hurt by another student. Are you sure you're okay, honey? Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, Mom. But I just had a feeling in my body during the fight that I never felt in my whole life, I told her.
You were probably just nervous, honey. I would be, too. Now we are going to go see your principal and make sure this kid receives the punishment he truly deserves.
My mother and I put on our jetpacks and went to the high school to go see the principal to take care of Mike Stike. Chapter 4. Discovering this amazing power. I didn't go to school the next day because of my injuries, but I was able to convince my mom to take me to a professional doctor to see what was going on with me when I had that incredible and powerful form. After a series of tests with Dr. Zebediah, the doctor who specializes in lightning activity on Mars, confirmed that I had a very rare body form known as the lightning form. I'm the first person in history to actually have this power. The doctor said that by forcing my elbows down or getting very angry, I will turn into this powerful lightning form. This was caused by getting hit by that green power vault to the school. We went into a testing room where the doc and I found out that I have super strength, lightning fast speed, and the ability to shoot small electric lightning bolts out of my hands and eyes, and even had the ability to fly after doing a big jump into the air. But Dr. Zebediah warned me to be careful with these new powers and only use them for the good of mankind. Chapter 5. Showing off my powers. I was then allowed to go to school the next day. My injuries had almost healed up by now, or at least Dr. Zebediah did the best he possibly could on them to make me feel better. I saw my friends right as I came to the entrance in the high school. They asked me multiple questions all at once, and I tried to answer them all, the best I possibly could. After a nice small reunion with my friends, I heard from the distance getting closer and closer by the second.
Luke Bolt, I declare a rematch with you right here, right now.
Mike Stike was right in my face at this point, looking me directly in the eye. Then I replied, "Bring it!" As I forced my elbows down, going into lightning form, I threw as many punches, kicks, and small lightning bolts as I could at Mike Stike during the battle. Mike Stike fell onto the ground like my friends and I did 2 days ago, defeated and miserable like he should have felt. He slowly began to sit up with the help of some of his friends. They also got the school principal, so that way I would get into trouble, he said in his toughest possible voice.
I'm gonna get you! I'm gonna get you good! My body condition now looks like a happy memory compared to what I'm going to do to you. I will destroy you and everything you love and care about. I'm going to make your friends suffer for what you did to me now. I will get every gang member in this country here at this school here someday. Everything will be destroyed, including you, your friends, and every student at this school someday, Bolt. Someday.
As his friends helped Mike get to the school nurse, everyone was all quiet as we watched Mike Stike go into the building. When Mike was nowhere to be seen, everyone who was outside of the school cheered and congratulated me for my heroic save and comeback to the school.
Chapter 6. Earning the Heroic Reputation.
A couple of days later, I came across the smell of smoke in the air as I walked outside from the school. I saw fire smoke in the distance, so I did a big jump into the air and flew over to the scene. Many people from town of Marsville were watching there nervously as the town's Moonrock shop was on fire. I asked one of the firefighters, "Hey, fireman, what's going on?" He replied,
"The Moonrock shop is on fire, and there's still a girl trapped in the building."
I immediately flew inside the building as the fireman shouted at me, "Hey, kid, what do you think you're doing?" I had to ask fast. There was a girl in the building somewhere. I heard voices upstairs. I had to fly up the stairs since there was a column of fire on it. When I reached the top floor of the small Moonrock shop, I saw the girl across the room.
"Please, sir, you have to come save me. Please,"
she told me. I quickly picked her up, punched the window open, and flew down to the street with the girl. The townspeople cheered, as I had just saved this girl's life.
"Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you,"
the girl said to me as she gave me a hug. The girl's name was Cynthia Robertson. Apparently she was in my grade, but I never see her at school. She must be in different classes than me. Someone from the town came up to me and said, "Who are you?" I replied, "Call me the Lightning." I flew back to the school to get my jetpack, then went home. My mom was wondering what took me so long to get home. I told her I was saving a girl's life from a burning building. She didn't believe me at first, but when we watched the news later, people were thanking me on the event card on the news camera. Then she believed me. The story was all over the news now. Almost every channel had live reports. People started to know who I was all over the world. There was even an interview going on with Dr. Zebodila, the doctor who had told me about my lightning form. He was telling the reporters all about the powers I had in this body form. He even winked at the screen to signal me if I had been listening in. I promised myself at that moment in time that I would make sure this power is used for the good of mankind. We even had a solicitor come to our door one day, selling me a lightning tank top shirt, pants, and shoes that I could have had at a very low price. The tank top shirt had a giant blue L for lightning and a yellow lightning bolt going through it. The pants were light blue, and they had 2 white stripes going down them. They had the same lightning logo at the bottom of each leg. The shoes were white and made by Adidas, with the same lightning logo on both sides of the shoes. I was becoming a very famous person, and hopefully, I was looked at as a good superhero.
Chapter 7. How I Got Glasses.
Both freshman and sophomore year had passed now, and still no sight of Mike Stike. I hope I'd scared him away for good. It wasn't until the beginning of junior year when something big happened again. I was talking to my friends outside the entrance doors before school started, until all of a sudden, bang! I was hit in both of my eyes with 2 giant white spikes. Of course I knew they were from Mike Stike. I was sent to the emergency room, where operations on my eyes were done. I was okay afterward, but I was told that I would have to wear glasses the rest of my life because of my terrible vision from the incident. I met with Dr. Zebadila again. He said I could still shoot lightning bolts out of my eyes, since they somehow won't harm the lenses. They would go through them without breaking the glass. My other powers were still as strong as the day I got the lightning form. Every day at school now, I am more aware of my surroundings. It just so happened that a couple of weeks before junior year was over, I saw in the news that Mike Stike had assembled a giant gang of his own, and they will be arriving in Marsville within the next 3 days. Many forces have tried to take down his gang. All have failed. Chapter 8. My final showdown with Mike Stike. When those 3 days were up, I arrived at the school the earliest that I could on Monday morning to prepare for the worst of the worst. I had that outfit that the solicitor gave to me to represent that I was a hero to this town. When they arrived, they walked onto the school grounds slowly, and they all came to a halt on the red sand of Mars. There were at least 100 gangsters there at the school that day.
Bolt, prepare to be destroyed,
he yelled at me, before he flew over and started throwing many punches and kicks at me. I was able to get in a guard position and quickly asked, "When did you get this fast and this strong and get the ability to fly?" He responded,
"Bolt, as soon as I heard that you got the so-called lightning form, I looked at this as an opportunity for me to get even with you. My gang and I know that you see here behind me broke into a secret government base not too far from here and stole a potion known as the Zioxius form. It gives me super strength, the super speed, and the ability to fly. It was never released to the public because they were worried that someone like me would take advantage of it, such as an occasion like this."
He concluded his statement by throwing a very fast punch at me to the face. We continued fighting until I came up with the idea that this Zioxius form did not have the ability to shoot lightning bolts out of his hands or eyes. This would be a great opportunity for me to win this battle in a heartbeat. I started throwing many lightning bolts at Mike, which started to shock and weaken him as I threw more and more at him. He started to throw heavier punches and kicks at me, which hurt me more than before. I came up with another idea of charging up my lightning bolts into a beam. As this idea came to mind, it started to rain and lightning. Mike's gang started to fight me now too, but I defeated them all very quickly. I immediately fought Mike again. The lightning bolts from the sky started to come down to the ground, even harder now, and I started to charge up for the attempted lightning beam. It was working! Mike started to back up now. He knew his punches and kicks could do nothing compared to this. The beam was ready. I cut my hands toward my waist and yelled, "Lightning beam!" As I quickly forced my hands forward and shot a lightning beam out of Mike Stike, it was electrocuting him. It hit him so hard that he was up in the sky, and a great big lightning bolt had struck his body instead of the ground, causing Mike to fall onto the red sand of Mars and be fried to a crisp. Chapter 9. Mike Stike's Funeral. I attended Mike's funeral a few weeks later. Like any other funeral, it was sad and made tears go down my face. But I was not going to miss Mike Stike, and neither was anyone else from the school. At the funeral, Mike's mother came up to me and asked, "Why would you do that? Why would you kill my son? He was everything to me, and you killed him.
You are not a superhero. You are a murderer.
I turned around and told the woman, "Ma'am, I did this because your boy was a child beater and a threat to society. It was my destiny. I did it to protect people, not to bring more fear to people. I am the eighth wonder of the world, the one who appears when you hear thunder from the distance. I am the lightning."